welcome back, everybody, to your favorite wrestling podcast. I did say
Number
favorite.
one.
Yes, number one. This is 123 Podcast, episode 22. It's all about NXT.
And this is the program that we all enjoy.
That I stole from you last week.
You stole it. You took it away. I wasn't going to say it this time, but yeah, you stole it.
I stole it, Chris. I stole it from you. I grasped it from your dying hands. But you're not.
Took it away. I'm trying to find something that's really funny, but I don't think I'm going to find it because we were saying we're number one.
We're number one. We're number one. You're trying to find John Cena, aren't you?
No.
Don't do that.
Trying to find SpongeBob going, he was number one.
What does that make Patrick number two?
Yeah,
Okay.
basically.
Poor Patrick. Starfish get no respect.
Yeah, and I can't find it. So I can
Okay.
waste the time. Waste the time
It's all
looking for a
right.
stupid app, and it
It's all good.
didn't even have it. So, number one podcast. He stole NXT from me last week, but that's okay. It was a really great show last week.
Number one wrestling show, NXT.
Mm-hmm.
This was a fantastic episode. Can't wait to talk about it, but we got some other stuff to talk about before we get to that.
Yeah, the first thing I didn't understand, so let's get that out of the way first. The Shinsuke
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Thank you, Nakamura.
What? He's what?
You don't get it? Nakamura what?
No.
What?
Dude, come on. No, he's coming. He's going to be making his debut soon at
Sweet.
at NXT Takeover Dallas, I believe.
Nice. Is that going to be like a pay-per-view, the takeover?
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah, they're always the
That's
2-hour
the
event.
yeah.
Yeah, Shinsuke was part of the Bullet Club with Finn Balor and AJ and
Oh, okay.
and Luke Gallows. Yeah, so he's coming. They're bringing in the whole Bullet Club basically.
That's great, but the only problem is that AJ kind of went to the big leagues before the minors, so there is no Bullet Club unless everybody moves up.
They can do it without AJ. That's fine.
I'm sure they could, and AJ's not complaining about being in WWE either.
I'm sure. Well, there's a little bit of news about him we'll talk about on the next Raw episode, I think.
Yeah.
About his first meeting with Triple H and everything. We'll talk about that there. But yeah, that's basically it. Shinsuke Nakamura coming to NXT finally. Dallas Takeover. So I'm looking forward to it. I've never seen him wrestle, actually.
I've never seen him wrestle either, so it'll be a treat for me as well.
Yeah. So.
One thing I wanted to point out, you shared the video with me today, but I guess we have to confirm one thing before we can go into another. Now, as we say, and this is why there's a major problem with recording in advance.
And
Finn Balor.
before you say that, I lied.
You lied about what?
I lied about never.
A lot of things you stated already, so it could be any one of the million things you've said to me.
I lied about never having seen Shinsuke Nakamura wrestle.
Oh, you have?
I have, from 2006.
When?
He
Where?
wrestled Brock Lesnar in Japan.
I never saw that match.
I actually saw it. I didn't realize it, but I've seen clips of it before. And somebody posted it the other day, and I didn't realize that's who it was. But it's Brock Lesnar in red tights, and he's younger, obviously. It's 10 years ago. And he's fighting, and it's actually a pretty good back and forth. So he was holding his own against Brock Lesnar back in the day. So that tells you something.
That's a good thing, but now it depends how they write him in WWE. Remember,
Exactly.
This is written.
Yeah, there's no way he's hanging with Brock Lesnar now.
No. Brock Lesnar doesn't like people. He's not going to be around much longer.
Okay, so you were saying about Finn.
Finn Balor got hurt
Yes.
recently. He hurt his ankle, was it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He hurt his ankle pretty bad. He's in crutches and everything. And you shared with me a video of Bayley. He came out, and Bayley actually came out to his intro the way exactly he does it. All the way to the ring.
Yeah.
All the way to the ring.
And
then he took his team and he did what she does for a little bit. He was grounded so far he fell backwards and just sat on the mat.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. That's why I love Bayley.
Yeah.
Bayley's amazing.
Bayley's awesome. Bayley and Balor. They're both awesome. I love them
I was
both.
gonna say they're both dating. That would be interesting.
No, not as far as I know. Who knows?
I think Finn's dating Becky.
Oh, really? Okay.
Thing. Because I don't know, I just get this feeling that they're both from Ireland.
Just because they're both.
Just because they're from Ireland.
Oh, that's awful.
You sound like me. We should go out.
I don't even know how to respond to that. Anyway.
I share with you an anime I saw today where the Japanese people talking, they put somebody who spoke English in this anime which they speak fluent Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
They did such cliche Japanese speaking English. How are you doing today?
Oh, of course. It's
What's up out of you? I was like, really? Really? You can't even try to sound like, if you're gonna do English, at least don't do it to the point where you actually are playing off of every single stereotype of Japanese people talking English.
Right. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know why. It still makes me laugh.
It still makes you laugh, even though you find it offensive. That's funny.
It's not offensive because it was done in Japan.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that is weird. Go figure. It's anime. It's all weird.
Hey, I like anime.
I didn't say it was bad. I said it's weird.
In a weird way. Okay,
it's very weird. You got to admit that it's very strange stuff. I've never seen a non-strange anime.
That's why I like it so much.
Okay.
You should watch some.
I've watched anime before.
You should watch one of the new shows, and then you can come on the Chris and Brandt show and talk about it.
I watched an episode of One Punch Man, and that was enough for me. It punched me out.
Wow, the only person I know that won't watch the series. Wow.
I didn't like it. I can't help it.
And listen, there are a lot of people that didn't like it. You're not alone. I'm just razzing you a little bit.
Yeah. But this isn't 1 2 3 anime. This is 1 2 3 podcast.
Hey, we should. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
All right. So the only other piece of news we have. Oh, and just to update about Finn Balor, because NXT tapes a month ahead of time. They tape 4 episodes
done
once.
already.
Yeah, exactly. He might not even miss any TV time. We don't know. He might be fine. We don't. I think we're gonna hear an update tomorrow, Monday. Well, today, as you're listening to this or watching it.
Basically, he will be defending against either Samoa Joe or Sami Zayn.
Hopefully it's not a serious break and it's just like a serious sprain or something. I don't know.
It looked like it in the video. If you look at his ankle, it just looks swollen.
Yeah. Maybe it'll be a minor thing and he'll heal up fast. But the only other piece of news we have is that Patrick Clark from Tough Enough, the last season of Tough Enough.
Isn't this the guy? Just question. Isn't this the guy that ran his mouth?
Yes.
And everybody kind of okay.
Yeah. He's going to make his NXT debut this Friday night, or 2 nights ago. Friday night, yeah. Or maybe I think was it 2 nights ago, or was it? Yeah, because they had pictures of it already. So yeah, he made his debut already. And the funny thing about this is, okay, first of all, Patrick Clark. I watched about half of Tough Enough before I got bored with it and just back. Excuse me. He was actually really good in the ring. He was one of the better wrestlers. His personality, it was like you either loved him or hated him. He was very cocky, very arrogant, very opinionated, but he kind of backed it up because he was the best wrestler there.
So it's kind of like Kurt Angle.
In a way, but, Kurt Angle had, I don't know, Kurt Angle had a gold medal, so a little more credit. But
I've never seen what he looks like. I'm going to look now.
Okay. But the interesting thing about this is, okay, that big guy, I can't remember his name, but he won Tough Enough, the big white guy with you've seen him, they call him Yeti or something.
Yeah.
He's on Breaking Ground and everything. He's never wrestled on an NXT show.
Isn't that Shelton Benjamin?
No, it's not Shelton.
It looks like Shelton. He looks like Shelton Benjamin without the mustache.
That is not Shelton Benjamin at all. I promise you. Wow. Anyway.
Man, you just remembered somebody you never wanted to remember.
Anyway. So, and also on Breaking Ground, for a while, they brought in one of the other Tough Enough guys. But he ended up walking out and quitting. because he
Really?
yeah, he couldn't handle it. ZZ, he was this Cajun dude. He was only 19 years old. He couldn't handle the physical. Um, but the interesting thing is, this guy who didn't win Tough Enough and didn't even get pulled up right away is the first Tough Enough male contestant to get on an NXT show.
Wow.
Yeah. So that says something about how the winners that they choose for that show. Because if you look, there's not a single winner of that show that's still with the WWE.
Did you see the news that one of the writers said on SmackDown that it doesn't matter whether the winners and losers don't matter, the wins and losses don't matter?
For Tough Enough or for wrestling in general?
For wrestling in general. He's a writer for SmackDown. Let me see if I can find the article while you're talking a little bit.
Okay.
I think Alan shared it with me. It was very interesting. I read it, and I think it applies to NXT too, because I believe it was for all shows. But I mean, it's one of those things where I graze through it.
Yeah.
It takes away the mystique if you know all of the truths.
Right. So, just briefly, Patrick Clark, he did wrestle and he lost. He was wrestling as a face and he lost. It was a brief match. It was untelevised, it was just a house show. But still, I thought it was interesting that he was like third or fourth, and in the competition, and still
he made it to all the way to NXT at least.
Yeah, and he wrestles before the winner.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where'd the winner go? Nowhere.
So yeah, the winners.
It's like what do you call it? It's like American Idol. They get one CD and you never hear from them again.
Brian James, that's Road Dogg that says this. The article you just linked me, that's Road Dogg. Brian James
is producer. I didn't know. I don't know wrestlers' real names. You can't test me on that.
Brian James is Road Dogg from the New Age Outlaws. That's who said that.
Well, it says right here that a producer, writer claims wins and losses don't matter.
Yeah, he is. He's behind the scenes now with the WWE. That's interesting. I disagree with that. I completely disagree with that, as a matter of fact.
I honestly just grazed the article. I just remember when you were saying that this guy who didn't win the Tough Enough ended up in NXT before the winner. It kind of just made me, that article clicked in my head.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get what he's saying, because the whole thing came from criticism that Kevin Owens keeps losing, which isn't necessarily true either, because he's beaten Dolph Ziggler several times. If a wrestler's popular enough, it doesn't matter if he loses, because people are going to still back him. I get that. But if he's just saying wins and losses don't matter at all, that's false, because that destroys any kind of storytelling element at all. If it doesn't matter if they win or lose, then what's the point in rooting for them?
Very true.
So I don't agree with that. I question that statement altogether.
I question Road Dogg altogether.
Exactly.
That's just me.
But yes, I just thought that was interesting about Patrick Clark. I actually liked him. Like I said, he was a good wrestler. So
it's just the attitude.
Yeah, the attitude was a little bit much. But if you actually watched Tough Enough, at first he was like really quiet and reserved, and it felt like he forced himself to become a character almost. So
basically, he became a character, even though it might not really be what he's like.
Yeah, I really do think that was part of it. I think he was just trying to get noticed.
Well, he got noticed. He's on NXT now.
Exactly. So.
Oh, and do you want to mention about the confirmation about the 5 people leaving wrestling?
Yeah, you can go ahead with that.
I don't have the list with me.
Okay. And then
that's why I was. Yeah.
See if I can pull it up real quick. Well, we know Bull Dempsey. We mentioned this on the last episode, I think. We know Bull Dempsey was one of them. One dude spoke up about it, Sylvester Lafort. I had never seen him. Apparently,
I've never heard of any of them except for that you said.
I did see a picture. Apparently, when Rusev was still in NXT, that's when Lafort was more on TV. So
okay, so that was before my time with NXT.
Mine too. Oscar Vasquez and Pete Howard were 2 others. Vasquez is a 31-year-old luchador. He's worked for TNA and ROH. And Howard is a former rugby player from the UK. and some dude named Marcus Lewis, who I'm not familiar with either. Like you said, I'm not. The only one I was familiar with was Bull Dempsey, and I'd only seen him a couple of times. So.
So I don't know. These are unknown. Well, that's why they got released. They're unknown.
Yeah, or I think they brought in other talent that are more appealing to the fans. So.
Man, that other guy was a rugby player before, so he can go back to playing rugby.
Or you could go to TNA.
I think he wants a job that'll be good for him.
Hey, apparently James Storm and Bobby Roode think it is. We talked about that last time, too.
They're defending a company that just helped them out the most.
Yeah, that's true. They are originals, so it's like they're the last originals left in that company. They kind of have to treat them well.
And Matt Hardy is getting the Hulk Hogan treatment for TNA now.
I don't even want to talk about Matt Hardy.
I love the Hardy. Well, Matt Hardy I like, and it's like
Matt Hardy aggravates me so much. I don't know.
Why?
I don't know. I've never cared for him as much. In the ring, I always liked Jeff. Matt was just kind of there.
I'm not a fan of Jeff because of all the stuff that he's done.
Well, I agree with that.
He brought it into the ring on TNA as well, so it's like...
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm talking about, when they were in WWE and everything.
Before everything went public and yada yada.
Exactly. Yeah, I was always a fan, and I loved when he got that push and he was fighting against Undertaker for the world title and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I agree with you now. He's, whatever. I'm just done with the Hardys. If they came back for like the Dudleys did for, one more run kind of thing, I would be fine with it. But other than that, I think I've seen enough of the Hardys.
I'm okay if the Hardys came back as well. It'd be nice to get the, 2 of the 3 teams at least that did TLC, you know what I mean? Because you're not going to get Edge and Christian back, that's for sure.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But they got their own show now.
Exactly, yeah.
So I wouldn't mind.
Switching dreams. All right, so, yeah.
Literally did the same thing. All right, so let's get into the bet.
NXT, the reason we're here.
That's right, because we've been talking news.
Yeah.
We had, ironically, a male-female match of 3 men, 2 women.
That is funny.
And it went in that order, too, which was even funnier.
It did.
But in order, I think the only things that I would take out of order was that Carmella Emma would be my last place favorite because it was all right. I didn't really feel that match whatsoever. That was my lowest match of the night. And that's not saying much because it was still enjoyable to watch, but it was my lowest because I don't like Emma.
Yeah, I think that's my problem. I don't like him. I like Dana Brooke even less, the girl that came out to the ring with her. I can't stand her.
I can't stand Eva Marie the most, though. So it's 3. All 3 of them.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Carmella I like, but I'm not totally invested in her yet.
Right. So then you're agreeing with me that this is basically a lower match. Same here. I think it was a nice match. It was like a little kind of like, hey, I'm Carmella. I did a little talk before the match, too, and I'm preparing to fight for the belt.
Yeah. Woo. I would say, though, actually one thing I would disagree with you with, I like that match better than the Enzo Amore and Colin Cassidy versus local competitors.
I was actually the female matches.
Oh, as far as the female, I thought you meant overall. Okay, gotcha.
Oh no, because then that one was that's a perfect segue to the next one. I agree. Enzo and Cassidy, it was basically to shoot their mouths off of the belts. We got more backstage with the other tag team.
Dash and Dawson.
Thank you. I always make fun of their name, Dash and Dawson, but I can't remember it when I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah.
That was a dumb match. It was like to say, look at how big we are.
It was fine. It got them TV time, whatever. But it's funny that it's those 3, Carmella, Cassidy, and Amore, that are like our least favorites. I like them, but...
but that was a short match. I mean, if you want to see people wrestle, we want to see wrestling. We want to see people beating each other up. We don't want to just see them come out and go, who are the 2 people that the local... They lost. Good night.
They needed the TV time for the main event. We'll get to that.
Because that was the second to last match before the main event.
Yeah.
But going backwards, My favorite tag match, though, was the first match of the night, which was the Vaudevillains versus the Hype Bros.
Yeah.
I love the Vaudevillains. I love them to freaking death. I want them to get their belts back.
Yeah. And, you know, I really do like them, too, and I like them being more edgy, and it seems like they're kind of changing into more heelish a little bit.
They kind of are.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Well, it makes more sense. Vaudevillains. It really makes more sense. The Hype Bros, I thought it was funny. I don't know if you noticed this, and we're not. I don't want to rail on the commentary because I didn't really pay much attention to it this time.
I was ignoring them. They were talking about how one of them is being and I was like, God, stop talking. And they kept talking about it.
That's one thing I wanted to mention, though.
I know you wanted to mention it. The way they were doing it, though, was stupid.
We were talking, or maybe it was just me talking, because you weren't here for the last one. I was talking about Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley, how, you know, they were backstage and that whole thing. Stop watching me sleep, bro, that whole thing. It was interesting that one of the announcers, I think it was Corey that said it, was talking about how Zack Ryder is being held down by Mojo Rawley.
But he's not seeing it because he's too busy having Mojo Rawley telling him to do certain other things.
Exactly, and I know privately we had talked about that. We had talked about the very same thing. It's like, you know, is that going to work? Is it going to mesh? Is it going to be long term? Because, you know, whatever. It's kind of a weird combination, those two. So
Very weird. I didn't like the guy that was. I like the. Zack Ryder. I don't like the other guy.
I don't like Mojo Rawley either. And I wonder if that's what they're building up to, is a breakup between the two of them.
A breakup and then a breakdown.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
But that was my favorite match of the night. Asuka followed right behind, fighting Santana
Garrett.
Garrett.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm like, who the heck is Santana Garrett? I remembered her from the Battle Royal, but other than that, I've not seen her wrestle before this.
I hadn't either, but I was really impressed by her.
Oh, yeah.
It was
especially
really
all that, I was like, really, this isn't a karate match. You don't have to scream every time you're ready to punch or kick, lady.
Yeah, there was a lot of screaming going on, but she was really good. They were going back and forth with reverses and all kinds of interesting moves, submission holds, all kinds of stuff. I thought it was a really good match.
Felt like I was watching that woman who plays tennis and screams all the time.
Oh, Venus or Serena, one of them.
Serena, I think.
Serena, yeah.
Oh God, I never watched tennis again. My friend's like, watch this girl play tennis. I'm like, oh, well, tennis. What could go wrong?
Like Spider Slayer would be so sad.
I don't watch tennis no more after that.
I never did really, but you know, I'd watch it if Mike was playing.
Oh, if Mike was playing, I'd be watching and rooting.
Yeah, of course, but
I'd break my TV if he lost. Throwing a ball at the person who's his opponent.
Yeah. So we should mention, before we get into the main event, we should mention that there was a decision made about about the main event from...
It was so freaking stupid the way Baron... Well, go ahead, yeah.
Okay. So basically, last episode, it was a triple threat for the number one contendership. It was basically a no decision. It was Sami Zayn and Samoa Joe both felt like they won. So Regal's supposed to make the decision tonight. And he comes out there to make the decision. Go ahead and tell about the Baron Corbin part.
As he's ready to give the decision, he's in his office, he stands up. Oh, no, he's sitting down. He's like, and I've come to a decision. And at that moment, the door opens. I'm like, that's going to be Baron Corbin. And he's going to be like, what is your decision? And I knew the first thing Regal was going to say was, well, you were the one that was clearly tapping, so you're out. But because two other people had you tapping, and then he's like, this is a joke, and walks out. That felt so TNA-ish, that moment.
Yeah.
That was very TNA. It was very TNA.
I completely agree with that. That should have never happened at all. They should have just left him out of it. And it really shouldn't have taken a week to get this decision, because we knew what was going to happen. That was a little bit predictable.
Yeah.
Like, you know it's going to be those two. It had to either be those two were going to fight for the number one contendership, or it was going to be a triple threat. It was one of those two outcomes.
So they're going to have a one-on-one next week.
Yeah.
Sami Zayn versus Samoa Joe. The winner goes after Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be now at the pay-per-view. Well, the takes over, because he's going to have to heal up first.
Right. So speaking of Finn Balor, though, he was our main event.
Yes, he was against Apollo Crews.
In the non-title match, because he just wanted to prove that he could beat Balor. Unfortunately, he didn't prove that.
I don't know, but he did prove that that match was half the night.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, they each gave a finishing move, and neither one of them, made like the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Finally, Finn Balor pulled something out of his hat, and he got the win. But Apollo Crews did his move. Finn Balor did his move, and it was like I could have sworn that it was going to end in a no decision because Samoa Joe was going to come out because it's like, well, who's going to win?
Right. Apollo Crews hung with Finn Balor, though. I mean, that was such a good match, and it was such a good way to show how good Apollo Crews is without having him go over the champ.
Yep.
And I mean, when he took the double stomp to the back of the head, I was like, I
thought it was over there.
And he kicks out, and it's like, okay, this is getting good. So it was a really good match. Like you said,
it was my best now. That was my favorite main event. The main event was my favorite,
mm-hmm.
But as far as all the other matches, those were very good as well, except the two that didn't matter because Emma and the Local.
It's so funny, though, when we first started watching NXT, we were like, Apollo Crews, who's this guy? We don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, because he's brand new, yeah.
Right, and it's like, he shouldn't be up, at that level and stuff, and then we started watching him, and just over the few weeks we've been doing this, or I guess it's been longer than a few weeks now, but...
28 weeks. Well, no. That's a lie, because we've been doubling up the past couple... Let's say approximately 20 weeks. 20-plus weeks, because we started doubling, doing...
Well, this is episode 22, so...
So, we've been doing
a couple of months.
So let's say about in a couple of months, Let's say a couple of months.
Yeah, we'll say a couple of months or so. But in that time, he's really shown us how good he is, and this match just solidified it. This guy has got a solid future. I can't wait to see what he does next.
I'm excited. Yeah. I really like it, and I hope Finn Balor, heals up. If he doesn't, they'll probably give the belt to Samoa Joe so Finn Balor could take a break, take some time off, which would suck. Because if they didn't want to give it to Joe or Sam, if Sami Zayn comes up, that would be cool.
That's true.
That belt again.
Yeah.
So eventually, Balor's going to have to lose. I mean, you can't hold the belt forever either.
Yeah, very true. But right now.
And somebody made a very good point because we were talking about how NXT and WWE are so dramatically different.
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon has a huge hand in the stuff that goes on for WWE, but NXT is Triple H's baby.
Yeah.
Triple H is the one that calls the shots in NXT, and that's why NXT is flourishing, whereas WWE, still run by Vince McMahon, still under Vince McMahon's people. So in the end, it looks like Triple H just knows how to run a show.
Yeah, I mean,
show.
There's more differences too with the main WWE shows, Raw and SmackDown and all that. They are going for that very family-friendly environment where NXT doesn't necessarily have to stick to that. NXT also doesn't have a television network to answer to because they're only on the WWE network.
Very true.
So I mean, there's a lot of factors there. So I don't want to toss.
Yeah, it's kind of like you could argue for or against that opinion.
Yeah, I don't want to throw it all at Vince and say, oh, it's all because of Vince.
Well, it is Vince because he wanted a PG show. So.
True, and I'm not saying he's not at fault. I'm just saying there are other factors and other people and other things he has to answer to as well. Network, it's a publicly traded company, parent groups, all the stuff that we don't see.
And that's why everybody hates Vince McMahon. And John Cena. They went out on a date to a concert once. I forgot what concert it was. Shoot.
Are you serious? They went to a concert together?
Yeah!
That's weird.
That was way back. That's when I liked John Cena up until that point.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this guy's just a brown noser. I don't remember what concert it was.
That's weird. Weird thinking of Vince McMahon at a concert, period.
He brought Vince to a concert, but it was more our time or John Cena's time. So it's like, why would Vince McMahon want to go to this concert?
Yeah.
It was, I think, a heavy metal band or something. I think so.
Okay.
I don't remember. I remember somebody sharing a link that it was in the news.
So rapper John Cena took like a 50-year-old Vince McMahon to a heavy metal show.
They went together. He didn't. I'm
not saying that. Yeah, I wasn't saying that. I'm thinking rapper character John Cena, 50-year-old Vince McMahon at a heavy metal show together. That's weird.
Even rock and roll, it's weird. Anything is weird. Unless you're going to a Golden Oldies, then it's weird for John Cena.
Well, Vince McMahon he does like music. He's the one that came up with the whole rock and wrestling thing back in the '80s. So, and he did a dancing and singing number.
I know. I remember
Yeah.
Triple H highlighting that when DX came back.
Yeah, exactly. So, I guess it's not so totally out of the realm of possibility there.
The way Vince McMahon danced, he definitely doesn't deserve to be in any concert that. Just like that, we lost our contracts for NXT.
He dances like he walks through the ring.
I'll never get over when he broke his ankle running to the ring on that Batista John Cena no decision.
Yeah.
And then he broke his other ankle walking back because he insisted on not having help, so he broke both his legs that day. It's like, dude, just get the help. Just get the help.
Funny. Oh, man. But hey, he brought us all this wrestling all these years.
No, his father brought it to us. He just took it over.
Well, he took it over and made it into what it is. So back then it was just a territory.
That's true.
He made it into a mainstream
Kitty
show.
Kitty show.
Yeah, well, whatever you want to call it. I like WWE. We both liked it.
I like WWE. I just want it to go back to where it's PG-17.
I wanted to do something.
Precisely. NXT is, I would say, closest thing to PG-17. Because you got serious shit going on. You got serious wrestlers. Asuka's going to kill you. Do you think that'll ever make it to WWE?
Yes.
Asuka's going to kill you?
If Samoa Joe comes up, it will.
Good, because then Samoa Joe will maybe end the John Cena era of WWE.
You know, that's a whole debate. It's, we don't want PG-13 kind of thing. I don't think that's necessarily
I watched WCW and WWE when they were PG-17. Did I get screwed up because of it?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I don't think that's the argument. I think the argument really, truly is not. It's not the violence and the adult content. It's the writing.
Writing. There you go.
That's
the writing.
Yeah, that's the problem. So
I agree, 100%. And the writers don't know what the hell they're doing. They're leaving so many great opportunities and just letting them slip right through their fingers. Great feud opportunities, great, story and mainstream opportunities. It's just, it's not working.
Yeah, and it's pretty common knowledge that in mid-show, Vince McMahon will change the script.
Yeah, he did that on the Rumble.
Yeah.
With Batista thing, he did it with the Rumble.
Yeah. So until that stops happening, or until they get somebody else that has a different vision, something, anything, this is what we're gonna get. So.
Well, I'm glad at least we lost all the mud wrestling and the stupid puppies.
Yeah, that part I don't think we ever need back. That was there's edgy, and then there's just
womanizing.
Yeah, there's that takes it a step too far in the wrong direction.
Very wrong. That only appeals to the adult male audience, and even then, it's the kind of like sleazy. Oh, we're getting to see them in their bras and panties, kind of. And even the bra and panty matches, I didn't like those. I was like, I walked away from them because it's stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like male fantasy match. Oh, okay, well, we've got time. Whoever gets their bra off first wins. Like that thing with Edge and Lita in the ring.
Oh, yeah, the live sex celebration. Yeah.
I was like, that was where I believe the PG-17 stopped, because John Cena was involved with that.
Yeah, that was just, it was all a ratings grab, obviously, and we're going into a huge sidetrack here, but
NXT doesn't do that. But they're PG-17-ish, and they're doing a good job.
That's the beautiful thing, and you keep saying PG-17, it's PG-13. NC-17 is what you're thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Two different
things.
It
is PG-13 though. NXT.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's like you can have that kind of programming where it's not totally kiddie and totally all. I don't even know how you would explain Raw and SmackDown kind of programming. It's not like all ages kiddie kind of stuff, because they have like The Rock coming on there and saying that kind of stuff like he does. And that
You can't
pushes
say
the-
llama penis and stuff like that on those shows normally. I'm surprised they didn't beep The Rock.
Right, exactly. So I think there's not really an explanation for what WWE is. It's not exactly PG. It's not G. It's not PG-13. It's like this its own thing that it's like they change the rules whenever they feel like it, kind of thing.
Right, because Hulk Hogan was pretty PG, and that was way back in the day, you know?
But that's why I always get upset when people say, "Oh, it's PG that's ruined it all." That's not the case. It's
The
the
writing.
fact that the writing and the storylines are dumbed down to the very basics, and that's the problem with it. Whereas in NXT and stuff, they let them cut loose. The matches are more interesting because it's not your predictable 5 moves and you're done kind of thing.
Son, yeah.
Which they do a lot on the main roster. They do a lot with everybody has like, oh, we know he's going to do this now. He's going to do that now, except for pay-per-views, and they'll kick it up a notch a little bit. But NXT is a different kind of beast. They really go out there, and it's like they're hungry, and they're fresh, and they're exciting, and it's different, and they're unique. And that's the kind of wrestling you see on other shows, too. And if we would get that kind of approach to Raw and SmackDown, you don't have to go dirty. You don't have to go
Right, like what we were saying, yeah.
You don't even have to go bloody all the time.
No, I never cared about the blood.
I mean, occasionally to build drama, yeah, it's a good thing, I think. Like if it's a huge feud that's built up to this climax and you have like a Hell in a Cell match. And
imagine Dean Ambrose bleeding out everywhere from a table, ladders, and chairs match.
Exactly, something like that.
Fire mats and stuff.
Yeah, something like that. If it's like this, like I said, the end of a feud kind of thing, that's cool. You don't have to go full force with it, but you got to do something. You got to change the boring, standard, predictable crap that we get all the time. That's all.
I agree, 100%. And that was NXT, everybody.
Which does it right.
Does it right. So NXT gets the golden star, the golden 1, 2, 3 star of approval.
There you go. And with that, that's the end of this episode.
I think we're done. I think we should stop now.
With this been a rant week. We got to get back on track next time.
But we're having so much fun.
Oh, no, I've had fun. Even a couple of times I've been at a loss for words, and I've been like, get out of there. It's in my head, and my mouth is not going as fast as my brain's working, and it's just not coming out. But, yeah, no, it's been good, and I think people appreciate our opinions. That's why they watch us.
And that's why we should be commentators on NXT.
There you go.
10,000
Like, subscribe, support us, whatever. Maybe we'll run a Patreon. We get to this level, WWE hires us. I don't know.
Yeah, if we get to this level and we get hired by WWE, we give a shout out live on the air as long as Vince lets us.
Of course, then they'll move this podcast to the WWE channel.
If you're getting paid to do this podcast,
hey, that'll work.
There you go. Enough said.
That's what they did with Zack Ryder's show for a while. Once he got really popular, they were like, "Oh, let's move your show over to our channel."
Think about what Up, Up, Down, Down. The only reason it hasn't moved to WWE is because other than Xavier Woods, there's a bunch of other people that play on it. That's why it'll never move up, really. But the shirts are sold by WWE.
Yep.
Bayley versus Sasha, Mortal Kombat X, happened 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
There's some little tidbit for NXT for you. I don't know who won. I didn't watch it yet.
I didn't either. But cool. All right, so check out all the other stuff we do. Last Ember Press. You can probably barely see because it's dark in here.
Nope. I see it perfectly, actually.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Zone4podcast.com, Frontline.com, Dark Avenger C86, the channel you're watching this on, Brooklyn Boys 13, and Frontline Gaming Zone. And
if you guys want any updates, because 123 Podcast is a proud member of the Zone 4 Podcast, you can go check out zone4podcast.com. Right now there is an update, and I believe this podcast is actually on it.
It is. Yeah. We talk about the new scheduling for this podcast, and which we'll reiterate right
there
here.
You go. You froze up on my end.
Yeah.
Huh? You froze up a little bit on my end.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it is in the update. We talk about the new scheduling, which we'll reiterate right here, which is basically the Raw episode. And I think we've kind of tried to stick to this before, but we're going to be more conscientious about it. The Raw episodes will be up Friday or Saturday at the latest. NXT episodes Monday or Tuesday at the latest.
Right. Well, this should be going up Monday because we got Raw up 2 days ago, so we're good.
Yeah.
And NXT is 2 days away still, so it's kind of perfect midway.
Right, exactly. So stay tuned for the next episodes, 23 and 24, Raw and NXT this weekend. And
that's right.
And that's it. So until next time, guys.
Take care, everybody.
We're tapping out and ringing the bell.
I've rung the bell already.
Bye, guys.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.